Today, we're going to be doing a deep dive into the Manosphere or the Red Pill community. Now, the godfathers of this movement, if you like, are these men here, the Tate brothers. But there are other prominent people in this movement, such as Justin Waller. And also another one is Myron Gaines. He's the host of the Fresh and Fit podcast. Now, these are probably the last people on the planet that you want young men taking relationship advice from. Despite that, their reach and their influence has continued to spread and reach millions of young people, and I believe, especially in the area of relationship advice, for the worse. Now, someone that has become very aware of this and is now shedding light on the Manosphere and some of the harms and dangers and exploitation that take place within it is this man here, Theroux. Now, he's just released a documentary on Netflix called Inside the Manosphere, where he goes and has conversations with many of these men who are leading this movement. We're going to play clips from that documentary, but we're also going to talk about why I believe Louis' lack of solutions is not helpful for young men, and especially because there's a reason why this Manosphere has managed to influence so many people, and that is because we aren't sharing truth with young men. So we're going to take a look at all of that today. Let's dig into it. All right, we're going to dig straight into Louis' documentary as he has a conversation with a man who goes by the name of HS. Now, here's what he had to say about how he gets his money and what he's willing to do to get it.
What would you say is the message?
I coach boys how to make money,
Wow, this is a nice spot.
how to be outside the system, how to be proper guys.
Shut up or nut up.
Would you see me that way? Did you look at my arms?
The stature's not saying too much. I'm doing it for money. I don't care about...
The morality of it.
I'm not living for other people. I'm living for myself.
This is one of the reasons why Louis' documentary style is so effective, because he doesn't even really push them that much. He just asks questions. He's quite unassuming. And then HS just throws himself under the bus. He's going to say, here, I'm happy to exploit people. I know that it's not good for them. I wouldn't want my daughter doing it, but I'm getting paid, so I don't really care. Let's continue. All right, if you've got to this point in your life and you haven't heard about Justin Waller, well, unfortunately, I'm going to break that streak for you now and introduce you to this boy in a man's body. And he's going to tell you a little bit about his marriage situation and his one-sided monogamy, as he puts it, which is really just adultery and unfaithfulness. But anyways, here we go.
So how many kids have you got?
I've got some. Yeah.
You know how many you've got,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I think so.
What's the number?
It's two. I have two. Yeah, I got two little girls.
Are you with their mum?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Are you married?
No. I'm gonna get a lot of smoke for this. I always do. Everybody gets mad at me when they ask me about my relationship.
Are you saying you're not in a monogamous relationship?
One-sided monogamy, yeah. Women don't want to sleep with other men when they love a man.
Just the woman. It's just women that want to be faithful to their partner when they love them.
One-sided monogamy means what?
It means
It means adultery, and it means unfaithfulness, and it means a lack of self-control.
like, see, here we go. Here we go. Setting me up. The mother of my children, the woman that I'm with, she doesn't talk to other men. So, stings, huh?
Yeah, it does sting, but it probably stings the most for the woman because it's going to be very damaging to her soul, because guaranteed she would much prefer him to be faithful and loyal to her. But it's also going to sting for those two young girls as they grow up to realize that their dad isn't loyal and faithful and does not have the self-control to love only their mother and love only his wife, or in this case, not actually his wife because they're not married.
Obviously, you've had this great career. People don't really know you from that. People know you from going on YouTube and other platforms and giving advice to young men. Are you married now?
I would never bring the state into my affairs. I don't chase women, Michael. I absorb them. I love women. Let me be very clear about this.
But
And in fact, I have quite the reputation for loving them a bit too much.
yeah.
And my wife helps, by the way.
Wait, your wife helps?
We got girlfriends, G.
Really?
Yeah, man.
And so really what Justin wants is all the perks of being married and none of the sacrifice and none of the responsibility. He wants a woman that's always there for him in every way, including having children for him. But he also wants to remain free to go have other relationships with other women. And he hasn't been married in the eyes of the state so that she can't take any of his money, and so that she is either stuck with him or he can leave and have no financial cost at all when he's done with her. And I guarantee he might look back and say, it was all fine, I'm happy with it. That's not going to be the effect that it has on her life after she's just had 3 children with him.
Do you consider yourself a misogynist?
I love women and I actually understand them.
You think you know better than they do?
They want a guy that can lead them and dominate them.
Here again, how he says, I understand them. I know what's best for them. Reminds me of Justin saying what they need is financial security and physical security, but they don't need emotional security. That very thing that anyone that actually does know women knows that they very much need. But not for him because he can't provide it.
I think feminism is wrecking women.
Yeah.
It is wrecking them. In fact, a lot of my advantage in the whole situation of like dating a bunch of women is that feminism told them that they could do this, this, and this, and then they get tired of it, and they're tired of being around men that act like women, and they're tired of being the man in the relationship, which makes it a layup for me.
And this is another very true point. Feminism has tried to ram down everybody's throats that women and men are actually the same and that women find their value in doing all the same things that men do. Now, it wasn't that long ago when Jordan Peterson was blowing the minds of the whole feminist world when he was saying that men and women have different temperaments and that on average, men are more interested in things and women are more interested in people. And that is why the large majority of engineers and builders and other tradies are men, and the large majority of nurses are women, and those things are actually okay, and that helps the society function. And that was just blowing everybody's minds because we've tried to live, or feminists have tried to push forward in this modern world that we should all be the same. It's like filing down the male and female parts of a Lego set and wondering why none of it fits together anymore. That's what feminism has done to the culture, and at the same time told men your masculinity is toxic, because if you're trying to raise females to be like men, well, it's going to be a lot easier if you also pull men down, try and act more feminine so we can all be the same. But the problem with that is that it's like fighting gravity. And so these men come along and they say these half-truths. Unfortunately, people like Justin don't know what true masculinity is. They don't know that masculinity is found in sacrificial responsibility, in serving your community, in serving your family, in leading them, in protecting them, in providing for them, but doing so in a way that isn't selfish, that isn't self-seeking, that is sacrificial. Justin doesn't get that, and so he's highlighting something that is true, and he's giving a false solution. We're going to move on now to Sneeko, and he's another great example of someone who mixes in lies with truth, and it is very attractive to young men. But he pulls them in oftentimes by highlighting things that are undeniably true. Let's take a look.
I think the world got really crazy for a long time, but I think we're reaching a little more of a balance in terms of what's truthful and what's not. Like even the gender ideology got super crazy the past couple of years. Now seeing that there's laws like, okay, actually no, there's 2. There are only 2 genders. Simple stuff like that I think was really important. And I think I deserve, me, Fresh and Fit to Taste, I think we deserve a lot of credit and reinstilling that.
Now, I don't know how much credit those boys deserve for pushing up against the gender ideology stuff, but at least they were saying the truth in that particular area. Now, young men were attracted to the truth because they're told boys can be girls, girls can be boys by people they're supposed to trust, by medical professionals, by the government. And not only that, but told they have to say those things. Oh, and by the way, your testosterone, your masculinity, it's toxic, evil, keep it down, keep it under wraps. These men are encouraging them to be men. And these men are saying, hey, men actually exist, by the way, and women can't be men and men can't be women. Those are basic fundamental truths that I would imagine Louis is not willing to recognize. And so that is why you have created a society and a culture that men like Sneeko have a platform and have something true to offer young men. And that is because of the nonsense that has been pushed forward in the society. And I doubt that Louis would be willing to push back up against that nonsense. And so there you go. There's Louis' exposure of the Manosphere, this group of men that walk around telling you how alpha they are whilst scamming teenage boys out of their money, getting them addicted to pornography, and using and abusing women in the process. And to be honest, the fact that they need to consistently tell you how alpha they are is an exposure in itself of how fragile and how insecure that they are. Because I think back to my life where I've seen men that really are that way. Special operators in the Defense Force that I got to work alongside, professional MMA fighters that I've been able to train with at the gym. Those men don't need to go around telling you about their capabilities because they actually have those capabilities. But true masculinity, sacrificial masculinity, secure masculinity that actually provides and protects for their families and their communities, that should be celebrated. And the fact that we have not been celebrating that type of masculinity has given rise to this false, toxic, destructive version of it. So let's celebrate men, let's celebrate healthy fathers being present for their families, sacrificing for their families. That is the way that we can rebuild our communities and rebuild our countries and give hope to a generation of young men.